Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday, the 28th of March 2025. In today's Millwall news, we will start off with this from the southernnews.co.uk. We'll go there with confidence. Alex Neil thinks Sunderland trip will be a great challenge for Millwall. Well, I certainly do hope so, Alex. Alex Neil insisted Millwall have no fear heading into the trip to fourth place Sunderland this Saturday. The side, the Scotsman, guided back to the Championship in the 21-22 season. Sunderland have been challenging for automatic promotion all season, but have stumbled of late, losing 3-0 to Coventry before the international break, a result that meant they had only won twice in their past 6. It is a run of form that has the Black Cats 11 points off second place Sheffield United and Regis Labrisse's side head into the weekend fixture, needing all 3 points if they want to keep their automatic promotion hopes alive. Neil is hoping to disrupt those ambitions. Well, it's a great challenge for us, Neil said. They've had a great season, Stimmer late is a really difficult place to go. Only Hull have won there this season, and that just shows the task that we've got on our hands. But our away form has been very good. We certainly have no fear going into any of the games, and there'll be more of an expectation, certainly from the home fans, for them to bounce back from Coventry. And I think it's a great game for us. Neil was appointed Sunderland boss on February 11th, 2022 and led the Black Cats back up to the Championship by beating Wycombe Wanderers in the League One playoff final. When asked if his prior experience at Sunderland gave him an advantage heading into the tie, Neil said, "Probably more so when I initially left. I think less so now. A lot of the players have changed over as well, so they're a few years older than what they were than when I had them. I do understand the stadium light though, I understand the club, I understand the expectation of the fans. I love my time there, we managed to get promotion, which they've been trying to do for 5 or 6 seasons at that point, and I think it was a successful period for them and for me. I got the job done that I was hired to do." I love this. Alex Neil, he always comes out with a very humble brag. He brags, but he cloaks it in a very sweet sounding sentence. But there is a kernel of a brag there, puffing his chest out, saying, "Oh, that was me." Despite their recent slips, Sunderland still boasts an impressive home record. They have only lost once at the Stadium Light all season, a 1-0 defeat to Hull City on February the 22nd, courtesy of an Anthony Patterson own goal. Well, if Hull can do it, we can do it. The Black Cats nearly doubled their home losses when they went 1-0 down to Preston North End on March the 11th and required an 86-minute Romain Mundo equaliser to escape with a point. When asked if Hull provided the blueprint for how to win at the Stadium Light, Neil said, "It depends on your players and your team, doesn't it? Hull may well be set up brilliantly to do that. I watched a game the other day and it was a bit of an error. The lad in the front area ducks, Patterson doesn't expect it and it ends up getting in the back of the net. But I think there's been other teams that have gone there and done well, and Preston recently went and did well. Mondol puts one in off the far stanchion in the 86th minute to get an equaliser. And there's varying ways to try and win the game, but I think for us, we'll do it in the manner which suits our players, and, we'll go and try and play as well as we can. If we can do that, our away form has been really good, and we'll go there with confidence that we can try and get something." Indeed, almost... You have more confidence in our away games than our home games, which is bizarre. It's completely flipped. Moving on to this, also from southernnews.co.uk, Joe Bryan again. Talking to the Southern News, Joe Bryan addresses Millwall future. Is there a Millwall future? Exactly. Joe Bryan said he would be absolutely like to be at Mill next season, with the left back's contract due to expire at the end of the season and the Lions holding an option to extend the deal. Oh, so there is an option. They don't have to discuss it. They just choose whether to exercise the option. Because we were under the impression that his contract was running out and that was it. But if there's an option... okay. Bryan, 31, joined Mill on a free transfer in 2023 following his release from Fulham and after an injury-hit first campaign in South East London, has become one of the first names on the team sheet this season, making 40 appearances in all competitions, the third most in the squad. With the Lions heading into the business end of the season, Bryan is not thinking about this contractual situation yet. I haven't really given it a second thought. I've got an agent that takes care of that. I like playing here. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I prove my fitness. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm enjoying playing here, and if there's another year there for me, I'll be happy. If not, I'll be happy and I'll play somewhere else. When asked if he would like to stay at Millwall, Bryan said, "Oh yes, absolutely." Bryan was sidelined by various groin injuries in the 23-24 campaign, but has proven his fitness this season, starting 33 out of the Lions' 38 league games. Well, he was actually, or he might mention it later, but he was playing with a problem that needed surgery to fix. But he was playing with the problem, and they waited until the summer for him to have his surgery. And that seems to have fixed it. I've kind of struggled in the past with injuries, and the question marks were there at the beginning of the season over, whether I could play games again regularly, and I think I've answered those, Bryan said. I don't know how many I've played this year, but I'll probably be up there in terms of minutes played for each squad. I'd always rather play Saturday than be on the training pitch, because games are what we all started playing football for. The matches are what we enjoy the most. Bryan has still found Mill's relentless fixture list challenging at times. The ex-Fulham defender played 21 games in 84 days, an average of a game every 4 days. There was a period over Christmas we went to Sheffield Wednesday away, and then there was a game after that where we played 4 or 5 games in 15 days. And I was exhausted, I couldn't move. Then Stoke, just before the break again, we played Saturday, Tuesday. I was bloody exhausted. My legs were not quite there, but, as a defender, you can kind of revert to type and just go, all right, I'm not going to get anything going forward today. I'll just go and sit in my slot and make sure that I'm defensively solid. It's just about using your experience and understanding, that my body can't charge around like I'm used to at 100 miles an hour every single game. And you have to manage your running and manage your intensity and kind of play a bit more of a game with it. Bryan was named in the EFL Championship's top 5 performers of the week before the international break for his performance in Mill's 1-0 win against Stoke City, but said he paid little attention to personal accolades at this stage of his career. Oh, well, things like that I don't really take much notice of anymore. When I was younger, I was very excited, but football's very fickle. I could be awful this week and I'll be written off the week after. So that's the way football works, so I never get too high and I never get too low. I think I've just settled into a nice kind of solid base of form, but again, I don't really think about it too much. I just put on my boots on a Saturday and I try to keep a clean sheet and play better than the player that I'm playing against. Joe Bryan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, we've got a trio of stories about Coburn. No, 2 stories about Coburn. Millwall boss on Middlesbrough loanee Josh Coburn fitting striker profile they need. This is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which is the South London Press. Millwall head coach Alex Neil would like to retain the services of striker Josh Coburn beyond just this season. Our paper exclusively revealed that the Lions explored a permanent deal for the Middlesbrough loanee in the winter transfer window. Coburn, 22, has scored 4 goals in 13 appearances for Millwall and won the penalty, which was dispatched by Mihailo Ivanovic in a 1-0 win over Stoke City last time out. Well, he fits the profile of the striker we like in our team, Neil told the South London Press. He's a bit different from Mihailo. Mihailo is probably more of a runner. Josh would have been more of a link centre forward. The two of them balance off each other really well, and both can score a goal. We still need a striker to help the team, which what I mean by that is, we're not the type of team that can just walk the ball up the pitch and the striker taps it in. He's going to have to take the ball and win a flick on or run a channel. And there are certain elements of those strikers, but we need specific tools for them to have. I feel as if Josh and Mihailo have got both. So there you go. And then we have this also from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. From the other side, Josh Coburn. What does he say? Well, let's find out. Millwall only striker happy to keep talks over his future on ice until the championship season ends. Josh Coburn wants to put any thoughts about his long-term future to one side until after the completion of the championship season. The 22-year-old Middlesbrough striker is on loan at Millwall, and the South London club have made no secret they would be interested in making the move permanent. Our website exclusively reported that the Lions were open to a transfer in the winter transfer window when Coburn, who has scored 4 goals in 8 starts, was out with a broken left foot. But nothing materialised, and Coburn is due to head back to Teesside at the start of May, unless South Londoners can mount a late surge for a playoff place. Well, I've loved my time down here. I love playing for this club. Coburn told the Sunderland press. For me, it was just the best to concentrate on this season, and get into the summer, and then those conversations can take place. A lot of things aren't in my hands. Some of it's down to Borough and what they want and everything like that. Yeah, Borough have been quite good. Saying for me to concentrate on this season, and knuckle down here and see where that takes you. I don't really want any distractions in the season. I know there is speculation, but I just need to concentrate on game by game and wait for the summer to come. Coburn's campaign has been hampered by injuries. He missed around 2.5 months with his fracture, returned on February 8th at Preston and picked up a calf issue after scoring on his debut against Sheffield Wednesday. It's been really frustrating with the injuries. They come at the worst possible times, said Coburn. I never really had that before in my career. It's made me learn how to deal with injuries, especially being down here, away from everyone. The lads have been brilliant with me. I took a ball down the line, and the centre-back has landed on my left foot and it's twisted while he's landed on it. And that was 30 to 35 minutes in, and I carried on until half-time. And then it just swelled up massively and I couldn't play on. It was a straight fracture, so pretty simple to deal with. I didn't have to have surgery, which was lucky. Because I got landed on, I thought it might just be bruising, a bad whack, but it just wasn't going away. And the physios were a bit concerned at half-time. I know the day after it was bad, because I just couldn't walk on it at all. The last international break came at a good time, and you can look at it both ways. I got a bit of a run back in the team and I was doing alright, but I sort of needed a rest. I didn't want my body to break down, and that's why the gaffer was really careful with me in certain games. He's been really good, and now I just want to get back into it. Millwall are 6 points adrift of the playoffs with 8 games to play. The margin for error starting at Sunderland tomorrow is way for thin. Coburn said, we all still believe the gaffer says, try and keep our season alive. The last thing you want is not to play for anything, and Saturday's a massive game because if we lose, that's it, a bigger gap. But if we go on a run, I don't see why we can't do it. With a good run, you can soon climb up the table. I always want more goals. My aim is just to try and end the season as well as possible. Give my best for the team because it's been a stop-start season, and I hope I get a good run now. Coburn's second match back from his foot injury saw him miss a late penalty at Derby County on February the 22nd, only to then still score in the 5th minute of stoppage time. I would probably say it was the biggest part of my season. Such a relief more than anything. Such a massive game for us to win and to keep looking up at the table. We did penalties in training a few days before, and I've drilled it down the middle, and I've tried to do that in the game. I just scuffed it. I was gutted after the penalty. It wasn't a good one, but I just knew I wasn't going to get another chance, and that I just needed to be in and around the area, and luckily I was, and it went in. And the gaffer said, you've won the penalty and missed it. It is what it is. He told me to keep going and that I was going to get another chance to get your mind back on the game. Mihailo Ivanovic's late winner against Stoke City before the international break came after the foul on Coburn inside the penalty area. The Serbian striker took on the spot kick duties. The gaffer leaves it up to us about who takes it. We'd had a few struggles in the penalty department, but I said I'll take it. It doesn't really affect me that much if I miss one. I'll take it again, but Mika wanted it and he had another penalty this season. It was a really good penalty, and we win the game, and that's all that matters to me. There you go. Now, moving on to this, also from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Incredible! Millwall boss and Reece Bangor winners meteoric rise and making it game on for the playoffs. Millwall head coach Alex Neil reckons Reece Bangor Williams should look back on his recent achievements with pride. The 20-year-old attacking midfielder only made his Lions debut on January the 13th, scoring in the FA Cup win over Dagenham and Redbridge, but has now broken into the England under-20 squad. Lambeth-born Bangor Williams, who made substitute appearances in international matches against Portugal and Switzerland, did not break into the professional game until December 2023. Mills signed to South London from Tooting and Mitcham, and he penned improved terms this January. Bangor Williams has featured 13 times this season. England Elite has been rebranded from the under-20s, with former Lions winger Romain Esse now at Palace, also in the same age group. Well, that's huge for these, said Neil, when asked about his call-up. What it does show, is how quickly things can change in football, If you think of where he was like 3 months ago, I remember when I first came coming here, I went and watched him in our under-21s. He was on the bench, and 3 months later, he's playing for the England under-20s, which is incredible. He deserves huge credit for that. His season's been turned upside down, and from his perspective, he should be really pleased with what he's done. Hopefully he can continue to get better. Bangolian started playing for Tottenham's first team at the age of 16. He had previously spent time with Chelsea, Tottenham and Watford, but been told his size was the reason for rejection. The main benefit of coming through that way is what he was exposed to men's football, however limited that was, because I don't think he played a huge amount of games there either, said Alex Neil. Sometimes the academy is a little bit more protective, shall we say, with younger players coming through, whereas when you go into a man's environment, it is what it is. You either sink or you swim. From that perspective, a lot of the kids that came through that way have an edge on a lot of the academy kids maybe lack. Millwall are 11th in the championship and head to 4th place Sunderland tomorrow. Well, if you win the next game, you might go within 3 points of the playoffs, and then it's game on, isn't it? Said Neil. If you lose the game, then it goes 7 or 8 points, and you'll look like you're out of it. But if you win after the gap, that could close again. The easiest way to deal with this situation at the stage of the season is just to win the next game. We'll have a better idea how close we are or not. Hopefully, if we're close, then we can win the next one. We're not naive to the fact that for us to get to the playoffs this year is going to be a big ask. We still have something like 5 of the top sides left to play, so there's a lot of tough games in there. But what we have shown is if we play well, is that we're more than a match for any of the teams we come up against, that's for sure. Now, moving on to this. So this is from the southernnews.co.uk. So we all signed Duo to early scholarships. Right, what's going on here then? Mill have announced that they've signed under-16s duo Ralphie Beckwith and Lyndon Snellgrove to early scholarships. Snellgrove, a left-footed defender, and Beckwith, a midfielder, have both made appearances for the under-18s this season. Beckwith was called up to the Wales under-15s in November 2024 and scored once. Academy Director Scott Fitzgerald told Mill's official website, Ralphie joined the academy 2 seasons ago, and we could tell straight away, he's got real quality. He likes to find spaces and create opportunities. His work ethic, coupled with his ability, makes him a really exciting player who the coaches love to work with. In reference to Snellgrove, he said, Lyndon is a cultured left-footed defender. He's comfortable in possession, and he reads the game extremely well. He's been playing the majority of fixtures for the under-16 side, but he's also featured for the under-18s. He added, Lyndon has a fantastic attitude to everything he does, both on and off the field, and I'm delighted he's committed his future to Millwall Football Club. So there you go. So what this is they've been signed up for the under-18s. They get the scholarship, I think it's a 2-year scholarship. And what they normally do with this is that they wait until the end of the season and they put out like a press release saying the following players have been given scholarships for the under-18s, and they'll be the under-18s next season. So they've done this too early, and I don't know why you would do that, probably to stop them from being snatched up and going somewhere else, but they could always do that anyway, because this isn't a pro deal, it's just a scholarship. Again, if they do get poached or nicked by any of the Premier League teams, one thing is, obviously, playing for the under-18s, that kind of puts a stamp on them of the quality that they are. And then you can go to the tribunal and say, well, look, he's playing for the under-18s. Like, this is a good player. He's 15 years old and he's playing for the under-18s. Like, they've taken a good one off of us. But yeah, they even put up a couple of stories. This is from millfc.co.uk, the official club website. They put up these other stories with photos and interviews and stuff. So what they're trying to do is publicity. Has he got a broken arm at the moment? Has he got his arms in a sling or something? But what they're trying to do is obviously publicity. Because, that helps. That does help. Like, if you don't know about something, you're not going to know about it. I mean, that sounds pretty base, but, it's like, if you look at, like, what Clarkson's farm, everyone's shitting their pants about Clarkson's farm. They're all turning up there. They're all going to this pub. They're all buying that beer was it Orkstone? They're all going there. There's probably a farm shop 5 minutes from their fucking house that they don't even know about, that they've never been to. But they've seen Clarkson's farm on the television, and then they drive about 30 minutes to go to that. And it's the same here. Like, if you don't push forward the younger players and show the world, no one's going to know about them. So, we'll see how that works out. Good luck to them. Doesn't mean much. How many under 18s go through to the under 21s? How many under 21s go through the first team? It's very hard to do that, because you have to go from playing in age-restricted football to playing in men's football, and that is not the same thing. It takes a big thing. Now we're going to start moving into previewing the game. We've got a quote from the other guy. Excuse me for 1 second while I take a drink. I don't know what it is. Before I record a video, I'm talking fine, perfectly normal. It's all good. As soon as I start recording, I turn into Bob Fleming, and I got a sniff, I got a cough, and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. Sunderland boss rules out key defender for Millwall clash. In fact, there are a few players out missing for Sunderland, so it's looking good for us. Although we have a few players out as well. So Sunderland boss Regis Labrise has ruled key defender Dennis Serking out of Saturday's clash against Millwall with a hamstring injury. Left back Serking has made 34 appearances and picked up 5 championship goal contributions. The 22-year-old was brought off after 69 minutes in their 3-0 defeat at Coventry before the international break. Or probably 2 or 3 more weeks, Labrise said when asked about the defender's injury. The season was like that, with many injuries and opportunities for other players, so we have to manage a situation like that. The Lions head to the stadium like 6 points off the playoffs. Sunderland are 4th, but have only picked up 2 wins in the last 5 games. We have to respect Millwall. They are really well organised and strong out of position, and they're good at exploiting space when they recover the ball. It will be a tough game. The main focus is on us, but we will take into account different elements of the opponent, and we have to play our best football. It wasn't the case at Coventry, and this is our main focus. Indeed. So here we go. This is from 11v11.com. It's the hysterical record. Yeah, exactly. Between Sunderland and Millwall, and it's sorted thusly. We haven't played them that many times. There's not a lot of games, really, between Sunderland and Millwall, as you can see. Because we haven't been in the same league for many years, there are large gaps. First time we played them was in 1937 in the FA Cup, away, and we lost 2-1. And then we didn't play them again until the 1st of May 1971. That was a 1-0 win. Obviously, that probably would have been at the end of the season. So, but we won. So the first league game we played out there, we did win. After that, in December of 71, it was a 3-3 draw. And then, since then, until quite recently, it's not looking too good. A lot of red here. Defeat, a 4-0 defeat in 1974. And then we go back to winning 1986, a 2-1 win. And then again, the same year, December 1986, so that's weird. Another draw, so that repeats what happened here. 1971, a win, and then 1971, a draw. 1986, a win, and 1986, a draw. And then in the 90s, we go back to losing 6-2 in January 1992. We draw in 1994 and another draw in 1994. That's a couple of months later in the League Cup, a 1-1 draw. And then, ouch, 6-0 defeat in December 1995. So that's 2 times we've conceded 6 goals up at Sunderland. And then we don't play them for a while, and when we do, a 1-0 win. And you can see, so since 2000, we've actually done pretty well. So since the year 2000, we played up at Sunderland, was that 5 times? 2 wins, a draw, and 2 defeats. That's not bad considering all of the red that's been there previously in the 70s. So last time out, April 2024, a 1-0 win. So if we just go through, so we've only won up there 4 times. A 1-0 win, a 2-1 win, a 1-0 win, a 1-0 win. Sounds like 1-0 win is on the table, boys, so I don't know about you. Either that or a 6-0 defeat. So there you go, that's the historical record, but what does that mean currently, this season? So if we sort this, so this is the last 6 games against Sunderland. Now, for some reason they've included, obviously technically, it was listed Sunderland versus Millwall in 4th of the 4th as a home game for Sunderland, so that's been listed here amongst that. Obviously it was at a neutral venue, it was at Old Trafford, but we won that one as well. So the last 6 games that they got listed here, including that FA Cup semi-final, 2 wins for them, 1 draw, and 3 wins for us. Now, 6 goals scored for them, and 5 goals scored for us. So not a high-scoring fixture, over on averagely. Obviously, there was a 3-0 defeat and a 2-2 draw. But this is how the table stands at the moment. If we expand the full table, Sheffield United beat Coventry tonight. Sheffield United go top. Coventry lose. Now, all the talk, as we've just heard in the stories from the South London Press, we're 6 points off West Brom. Yeah, we are 6 points off West Brom, but these 2 places are up for grabs. This is where we're competing. Us and Bristol and Middlesbrough and Blackburn and Watford and Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich are probably out of it by now. Maybe. This is who we're competing for, these 2 spots. Because there is a 10-point gap between Sunderland and Coventry. So we are competing for 5th or 6th. Obviously, you would imagine getting to 6, but West Brom are like a bit of chewing gum on the bottom of your shoe. They're hard to get out of there. They just won't fall down the table because they've drawn 18 games and only lost 7. That is an insane amount of games that they've drawn. And then you look at Coventry, they win a lot of games and they lose a lot of games. They've lost 14 games. Insane. Obviously, because they've had a kind of split personality where they were really bad under the previous manager and they're really good under Frank Lampard. But, they've lost 2 games in the last 3. They lost away at Derby and they lost away at Sheffield United. So, have they been figured out? Is there a way that they can be beaten? If that has happened, obviously their fixtures going forward, their return rate is not going to be so high. So that means, if we keep winning, as Alex Neil says, just win the next game and then see where we are. Win the next game, see where we are. Just keep doing that. And then after a while, you'll find yourself up here and you go, oh, this is where we are. Yeah. So this is the table as it stands at the moment. So if we do win, or as long as we avoid defeat tomorrow, we will be gaining on Coventry. But ideally, you would want to win because of these teams ahead of us. You imagine they're not all going to win because that would be very unlucky if they do. So if Watford, some of them are going to slip up, and when they do, that means we jump up the table. So that's what the league table looks like at the moment. So Sunderland only lost 7 games. Obviously, as mentioned, they've only lost once at home. So if we look at, might as well look at that now. Even though they've only lost once at home, they're only the 3rd best team at home in the league. Because they've only won 11 and they've drawn 7. They've scored 31 goals, conceded 15. And in terms of away games, we are the 6th best away team in the division. We've won 5, we've drawn 8, we've lost 6. See, we have only lost 6 away games all season out of 19. So 13 of our away games have been wins or draws. We've only conceded 22, and we've scored 17. Obviously, a problem scoring. We should probably try to do more of that scoring. I hear it's very conducive to winning games. If we do this, let's do the form. Obviously, we know their form isn't too good at the moment. So the form teams. So at the moment, yeah, the last 6 games they've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. They've scored 6, conceded 9. Whereas we have won 3, drawn 1, lost 2, scored 5, conceded 6. Not much in it there. Not much in it. So we've got home games for Sunderland, we've got away games for Millwall. Obviously, last time out, up at Leeds, where this was the league game. First time in a while away that we failed to score. Our away form has improved massively in that we actually score away from home now. Even at Crystal Palace we scored. Well, Wes Harding. What a man. Scored 2 at Watford. Scored 1 at Derby. Scored 1 at Preston. Even in the anomaly of losing 5-1 at Plymouth, we scored. So there's that. There's that. I have confidence that we could score tomorrow. Yeah. And if we look at Sunderland, they ain't keeping clean sheets at home. They kept a clean sheet against Luton, and Luton are really bad. But they didn't keep a clean sheet at Hull, and they failed to score. They didn't keep a clean sheet against Cardiff, but they won 2-1. They didn't keep a clean sheet against Preston. It was a 1-1 draw. They conceded 2 against Watford. It was a 2-2 draw. They conceded 2 against Plymouth. It was a 2-2 draw. So all this talk of them only losing once at home, that was literally 3 home games ago. That was a month ago. And, they drew. They drew it against Plymouth. They drew against Watford. They drew against Preston. They're not invincible. And we'll get into in a minute why that this might be the case, that their recent form is not so good. There's strengths and weaknesses, styles of play. So let's get into why they might be in a bit of bother. They're a little bit of trouble. Look at their injury list. It's very extensive. Much like ours. But obviously they have better players, so when their players are out, it's worse. Trey Hume is out. Dennis Sirkin, as we read, is out. Dan Ballard is out. These are their defenders. 2 Northern Ireland internationals. I don't know what the other guy is. Is he Irish? Salis Abdul Samad. Whoa, what's happening? My furniture started flowing. Alakazam. All of these players are out. Whereas for us, players like Langstaff, Honeyman, Zach Lovelace, he shouldn't even be on that list. Hutchinson, is he out? Why is he out? No, Scanlon, Danny Mack. The only one there that you kind of miss is probably Femi Aziz, and maybe Liam Roberts if something happens to Jensen. Because if we have to go with the under-21 goalkeeper in goal, it's not going to be too good, I don't think. So let's get into the prediction. Sunderland were humbled by Adji Wright-inspired Coventry side 2 weeks ago as the striker scored a hat-trick in a 3-0 win for Frank Lampard's side. The Black Cats emerged from the international break with a clear task, avoided disastrous collapse and protected a 12-point lead over 7th place Bristol City. Well, no, I mean, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They're not going to finish 7th. They're going to drop out of the playoffs. It's not going to happen. Not at all. Not at all. Millwall have one eye on the playoff race heading into final 8 championship matches of the season after a stoppage time Mihajlo Ivanovic penalty earned the Lions a 1-0 win against Stoke last time out. Alex Neil's side are only 6 points off the pace after winning 3 of their last 5 league fixtures. But they predict Sunderland 2, Millwall 1. Okay. So let's get on to this. I'm not going to read all this. Now, I would say another thing that might be in our favour. What time's the game kicking off? 3 p.m. 3 p.m. It's not an early kickoff. I think if it was an early kickoff, it would automatically, I would have to say that we would probably go and lose. Another thing, Aaron Connolly. Is he going to play? He should play, in my opinion. He's all right. Wherever that starts or comes off the bench. Because he's very tricky. He can dribble with the ball. He can hold on to the ball. He can draw a foul. But he used to play for Sunderland. He played for them this season. So much so that he scored for Sunderland against Millwall at the Den. So I don't know if there's... obviously, they let him go. I don't know if there's some kind of animosity or what. But, I'm sure he would want to prove something to Sunderland. That maybe they should have not done that. And we'll see how that goes. But their prediction at sportsmile.co.uk is Sunderland 1, Millwall 1. Millwall capable of getting something from this match, and although they ideally need 3 points, we think that this will end in a draw. 3 of the last 4 meetings between the two sides have ended in a draw, so that's home and away. We think that this trend will continue this weekend. Here's my thinking. I think it's going to be 1-1 or 1-0 to Millwall. I can't see our defence conceding 2 unless we get a player sent off. We could probably concede that 6 goals if a goalkeeper gets sent off. And as we've seen, Sunderland have got defensive problems. Their defence is all injured. So that opens it up. And not only in terms of playing Connolly, he would have been training with these for a couple of months, so he knows these players. He's been training with them week in, week out since last summer. So I'm sure he's skinned a few of these in training. So certainly want to see Connolly playing. If we do win, I think it's going to be 1-0 win. As most of we've had one up there 4 times, 3 1-0 wins and a 2-1 win. So the odds are, if we do win, it's going to be a 1-0 win. So in terms of do I think we're going to win 1-0? Do I think it's going to be 1-1? I wouldn't be surprised at either, but I would probably have to err on the side of I think we're going to win 1-0. I think we're going to win 1-0. Why not? And then we'll see, obviously, where we are on the table. And hopefully it's looking good. It is looking good. So on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.